Have you ever wondered why your legs feel unusually weak, even though you're eating healthy every day? What if the fruits you've trusted for decades are secretly draining your strength and making your balance worse? And here's something truly surprising. Some of the most common fruits in your kitchen may be causing more harm than good. Did you know that some fruits you've been enjoying for years could be the hidden reason behind your leg weakness or discomfort? After turning 60, recovering from certain health mistakes becomes much harder, especially the ones we don't even realize we're making. Many seniors often blame leg fatigue, balance troubles, or morning stiffness on normal aging. But what if I told you that the real problem might not be your age, but rather what's on your plate? Today, we're diving into a topic most people would never suspect: fruits. Yes, fruits. Some types can slowly rob you of your leg strength, wear down your joints, and make it harder to stand or walk with each passing year. And the most shocking part? These fruits are likely sitting in your kitchen right now. In fact, you might be eating one during your breakfast as you watch this video. But here's the good news. Once you know which fruits to avoid and understand why they're harmful, you can begin making simple, smart choices that protect your legs, improve your balance, and even help restore some of the energy you thought was long gone. So, if you're over 60 and have noticed your legs feeling weak or your balance slipping more often than before, stay with me. You're not weak. You're not helpless. You may simply be eating something that was never meant to support your body in this stage of life. Let's get started. First up, bananas. Bananas are everywhere, on cereal, in smoothies, packed into lunchboxes. For decades, we've been told they're the perfect fruit, rich in potassium, easy to digest, and good for heart health. But if you're between 60 and 80, eating too many bananas might not be doing your legs any favors, especially when it comes to... Let's talk about why bananas, despite their reputation, can quietly sap your leg strength. Potassium is undoubtedly essential for health, but as we age, our kidneys may not filter it as effectively. This can lead to a condition called hyperkalemia. When this happens, your body holds on to excess potassium, and instead of supporting your muscles, it starts interfering with the way your nerves and muscles function. One of the earliest signs? Weak, shaky legs. You might also notice tingling or numbness creeping into your feet. Now, don't get me wrong. Bananas aren't the enemy. Having one banana a day is generally fine for most people. But if you're eating 2 or 3 in one sitting, or pairing them with other high-potassium foods like coconut water, potassium supplements, or even potatoes in the same meal, you could unknowingly push your potassium levels into dangerous territory. There's a man we know named Howard, who's 74. He's always been active, sharp, and walked every morning without fail. But one day, he noticed his legs giving out halfway through his usual route. At first, he simply blamed it on getting older. Later, his doctor discovered that his potassium levels were far too high. The surprising cause? He was eating 3 bananas every single day, plus drinking a smoothie loaded with spinach. Once he cut back on those potassium-heavy foods, something remarkable happened. Within just a few weeks, his leg strength began to return, and he was back on his feet without any problems. This story highlights an important truth. Healthy foods are only healthy when they align with what your body actually needs, especially as you get older. For seniors, balance matters far more than quantity. In the case of bananas, one may be just right. But eating more could quietly start stealing your strength rather than supporting it. And there's another hidden downside that many overlook. Bananas contain a high amount of natural sugars. Over time, frequently snacking on them can trigger blood sugar spikes, which may lead to low-grade inflammation, particularly around the joints. Can you imagine how much of an impact that could have on your daily comfort? If your knees often feel stiff when you stand up, or you've noticed swelling after spending the day on your feet, the natural sugars hiding in your so-called healthy snack could quietly be making things worse. It's easy to assume that such discomfort comes from aging alone. But if you've been feeling more tired, unsteady, or less confident on your feet lately, don't be too quick to blame it on age. Sometimes the real culprit is sitting right in your fruit bowl. Let's move to another surprising fruit: grapes. They seem innocent, don't they? Sweet, refreshing, and so easy to snack on by the handful. But grapes, especially the seedless varieties, can be among the most deceptive fruits when it comes to harming your leg strength. Why? The reasons boil down to three hidden dangers: high sugar content, pesticide residues, and their strong link to inflammation. Grapes are loaded with fructose, a form of sugar that your body processes rapidly. This quick digestion causes sudden spikes in your blood sugar, followed by sharp crashes. Over time, this cycle can lead to chronic fatigue and gradually weaken the muscles you rely on for walking and balance. But the story doesn't stop there. Grapes also rank among the top fruits most heavily treated with pesticides in grocery stores today. Unless you buy organic grapes, every bite might contain chemical residues. These residues can disrupt your hormones and spark low-grade inflammation in your body. For older adults, inflammation doesn't just cause temporary soreness. It often settles deep in the joints, especially in areas like the hips and knees. Suddenly, simple movements like standing up from your chair or walking around the house can feel surprisingly difficult. Take the case of Louise, a 78-year-old woman from Michigan. She adored grapes, kept them chilled, and enjoyed them as her daily afternoon treat. Over time, however, her knees began to swell, and even walking short distances became painful. Physical therapy sessions provided little relief. Eventually, after a detailed nutritional review, her doctor recommended cutting grapes from her diet completely. And what happened next was remarkable. She switched to blueberries instead, which are well known for their anti-inflammatory benefits. Within just a month, the swelling in her knees noticeably reduced. Her balance improved, and she felt more stable on her feet once again. This goes to show just how sneaky inflammation can be. It doesn't always come from junk food, as many people assume. Often, it builds quietly, fueled by the so-called healthy foods we rarely question. Grapes, despite their innocent and wholesome image, are one of those hidden triggers. And if you're eating grapes in their dried form, such as raisins, the problem only gets worse. Dried fruits concentrate the natural sugars, and many also contain added oils or preservatives. On top of that, their sticky texture clings to your teeth, feeding harmful oral bacteria. This can lead to gum inflammation, which researchers have directly linked to weakened leg function in older adults through a process known as systemic inflammation. If you've been noticing that your knees aren't bouncing back the way they once did, or your legs seem to tire much faster than they used to, this could be a subtle clue. It may be time to take a closer look at how often grapes or raisins are sneaking into your daily snacks. You might be surprised by just how often they appear in your routine. If you're still here watching this video and finding these insights helpful, please comment the number 2 below to let me know you're still with me. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I highly recommend you hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. That way, you won't miss any future videos packed with tips to help protect your health and well-being. Now, let's move forward. Our next fruit to watch out for is watermelon. On a hot summer day, few things feel more refreshing than a cool, juicy slice of watermelon. It's sweet, hydrating, and loaded with water. But many older adults don't realize that depending on watermelon for hydration can quietly backfire, especially when it comes to maintaining strong leg muscles. While it's true that watermelon is made up of more than 90% water, most of what's left is sugar. Even though it may feel hydrating in the moment, watermelon lacks the key electrolytes that your body needs to support muscle strength. It's easy to assume that watermelon is purely hydrating, but here's something most people don't realize. While it's packed with water, it lacks essential electrolytes like sodium and magnesium, which your muscles desperately need to retain fluids and function properly. Ironically, eating large amounts of watermelon can leave you feeling refreshed temporarily, but at a deeper cellular level, it may actually leave you dehydrated. And that, especially for older adults, can become a serious concern. When your legs are always working harder to support you, losing too much fluid inside the muscle cells can trigger an uncomfortable mix of cramps, weakness, and fatigue. Many seniors describe this as feeling wobbly or unsteady, yet they rarely suspect that the fruit sitting in their kitchen could be playing a role. Consuming too many watery fruits, like watermelon, can also lower sodium levels in your bloodstream, which might sound harmless, but can cause sudden drops in blood pressure. This often leads to dizziness when standing up, a problem that can become even more dangerous for those already taking certain medications. I recall a woman named Susan, an 82-year-old, who was sharp, witty, and always full of life. However, by late afternoon, she often felt drained of energy. Wanting to be healthier, she had swapped salty snacks for watermelon, enjoying it up to 3 times a day. But soon, her legs began feeling weaker, and she suffered 2 unexpected falls within just 1 month. After visiting her doctor, it was revealed that she had low sodium levels. Once her diet was adjusted to include more protein, electrolytes, and fewer servings of watermelon, her energy and balance returned dramatically. Her confidence improved, and she no longer feared those sudden dizzy spells. There's yet another hidden concern with watermelon. It has a high glycemic index. This means it causes a sharp spike in your blood sugar soon after eating it. Over time, these repeated sugar spikes can quietly damage your blood vessels and slow down circulation to your legs and feet. The result? A gradual silent drain on your leg strength and overall mobility. So, while watermelon may seem like an innocent or even healthy treat, eating it in excess, especially without balancing it with enough protein, salt, and healthy fats, can quietly set the stage for muscle fatigue, poor hydration, and a higher risk of falls. Now, let's talk about a fruit that has long been celebrated as nature's perfect snack: apples. For generations, apples have been praised for their convenience, their crisp, satisfying bite, and their role in supporting digestion and heart health. They're easy to carry, easy to chew, and often recommended as a daily staple. But here's something most people never hear. If you're over 60 and starting to notice a decline in your leg strength, eating too many apples might quietly be working against your body. Let's start with something most overlook: what apples are missing. While they're rich in fiber and natural sugars, apples contain very little protein, magnesium, or calcium. These nutrients are critical for maintaining muscle strength, proper nerve function, and strong, stable bones. If apples become your go-to snack throughout the day, they can easily take the place of more nutrient-dense foods your body truly needs to keep your legs strong and stable. But that's not the only concern. Apples are naturally acidic. While this isn't usually a big deal for younger individuals, it can become a hidden issue as we get older. As we age, our bodies become less efficient at neutralizing excess acid. A diet high in acid-forming foods, even seemingly innocent ones like apples, can force your body to pull alkaline minerals from your bones and muscles to maintain balance. That includes 2 essential minerals for leg strength: calcium and magnesium. Losing those minerals quietly weakens both muscle and bone over time. There's also another factor many seniors don't consider: appetite displacement. As we age, our overall appetite tends to decrease. If you fill up on apples between meals, you might unintentionally reduce your total calorie and protein intake for the day. Without enough protein and energy, your muscles can begin to shrink. And once you start losing muscle mass in your legs, the process can speed up quickly. Weaker legs often lead to less walking, and that reduced activity causes even faster muscle loss. It's a vicious cycle. I remember a man named George, 78, who swore by his daily apple habit. He ate 2 to 3 apples every single day, believing it was helping his digestion. Yet, despite his active lifestyle, he couldn't figure out why he was suddenly experiencing more frequent muscle cramps and why his legs seemed to tire more quickly during simple activities. He started noticing it most when getting up from the couch. His legs just didn't have the same power. When we took a closer look at his meals, it became clear. His apple habit was quietly replacing the protein-rich snacks his muscles actually needed. Once we adjusted his diet, we introduced more nourishing options like cottage cheese and eggs, while gradually reducing his apple intake. And the results? A few months later, George was not only standing with ease, but also climbing stairs again without any help. This doesn't mean that apples are inherently bad. The real lesson here is all about balance. Having one apple a day is perfectly fine and can still be part of a healthy diet. But the key is not allowing apples to crowd out essential foods that directly support your leg strength, like lean proteins, leafy greens, or magnesium-rich nuts and seeds. These are the foods that fuel your muscles and keep your legs steady. And here's a simple trick if you love apples. Try pairing them with something more grounding, like a small slice of cheese or a handful of almonds. This combination helps to neutralize the acidity from the apple and adds vital, muscle-friendly nutrients your body will appreciate. Your legs, and your overall energy, will thank you for this small but powerful change. If you're still here and finding these insights helpful, please take a moment to comment the number 4 below to let me know you're still with me. And if you haven't subscribed yet, now's a great time to do so. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you'll never miss out on more essential health tips designed to help you live stronger and feel better every day. Your support makes it possible for us to continue creating these helpful, inspiring videos. Now, let's keep going. The next fruit on our list is pineapple. Pineapple may seem like an innocent, sweet treat, tropical, refreshing, and loaded with vitamin C. Many older adults enjoy it for its soft texture and tangy flavor, which makes it easy to eat. But if your legs are already prone to swelling or heaviness, especially around your ankles or knees, pineapple could be quietly making things worse without you even realizing it. Here's why. Pineapple contains a natural enzyme called bromelain. In small amounts, bromelain can help improve digestion. But when consumed in larger quantities and combined with the fruit's naturally high acidity, it can irritate the stomach lining and, in some cases, even slightly thin the blood. For some seniors, that combination can be risky. This can lead to something many people overlook: more noticeable bruising or longer recovery times from minor injuries, especially in the legs. But the deeper issue with pineapple isn't just that. Pineapple is also very high in natural sugars and has a mild diuretic effect. At first glance, that might sound beneficial. Some people think, it helps me flush out extra water. However, the reality is more complicated. If you're not carefully balancing that effect with proper hydration and enough minerals like potassium and magnesium, your body may actually start holding on to excess fluid, particularly in your lower limbs, to compensate for what's been lost. The result? Puffy feet, aching calves, and that sluggish, heavy feeling in your legs after standing or walking for too long. And there's another layer to this issue: the psychological trap. Many people eat pineapple believing it's a smart, healthy choice, and yes, in moderation, it can be fine. But I've seen plenty of older adults who added a bowl of pineapple to their breakfast every morning or enjoyed it as a post-dinner treat, thinking it was helping their digestion. Instead, they found themselves with tighter legs, deeper sock marks, and the need to elevate their legs more frequently throughout the day. One man I knew, Harold, age 78, adored his nightly bowl of pineapple chunks, especially before bed. However, he also had mild heart failure and some kidney concerns. After we reviewed his diet, we replaced his evening pineapple with a mix of berries and a small pinch of Himalayan salt in his water. The results were incredible. In less than 2 weeks, the swelling in his legs noticeably decreased. He could walk longer distances without discomfort, and even his shoes started fitting better. The body after 70 becomes like a finely tuned machine, far more sensitive than it once was. Just a small imbalance in water, sugar, or mineral intake can shift your circulation in ways you never noticed before. Pineapple, while delicious, can easily become part of that imbalance if you're not cautious. So if your legs have been feeling unusually heavy, or if you've noticed unexplained swelling, it might be worth examining the fruits on your plate, not just your salt shaker. Here's something we should all keep in mind. Many of us grew up believing that fruits are always good for us, no matter what, no questions asked. But once we pass 60 or 70, the story changes. Our bodies grow more sensitive, more selective, and far less forgiving of the foods we once enjoyed without consequence. That includes some of the fruits we've discussed today. Leg strength isn't just about exercise or age alone. It's also about the choices we make at the table and what's happening inside our bodies with every bite we take. Inflammation, poor circulation, fluctuating blood sugar, and imbalances in key minerals. These issues often develop silently, creeping in slowly over time. And more often than not, they first show up in your legs. It may start with a little more swelling than usual, a slight loss of stamina, or that familiar stiffness when you try to rise from a chair. If you've been noticing these subtle changes, it's worth considering that your fruit bowl might quietly be playing a role. But here's the encouraging news. Knowledge is power. Once you understand what's really going on, you can begin making small, thoughtful adjustments to your daily routine. It doesn't have to be overwhelming. Sometimes, something as simple as swapping out 1 or 2 fruits, balancing your sugar intake more carefully, staying properly hydrated, and paying attention to how certain foods make you feel can create a dramatic difference in how your legs respond throughout the day. The best part is, you don't have to eliminate everything you enjoy. It's not about giving up, it's about tuning in to your body's new needs and respecting them. Take a moment to reflect on your usual breakfast or snack choices. Think about what you tend to eat, and more importantly, how you feel an hour later. Are your legs feeling light and energized, or do they feel heavy and sluggish, like you're dragging weights? That simple moment of awareness can be the first step toward reclaiming your strength, building confidence, and maintaining your independence. Thank you so much for spending time with us today. We'd love to hear from you. Please leave a comment below and share at least one thing you learned from this video, along with how you plan to apply it in your life. Your feedback means a lot to us, and reading your comments gives us the motivation to keep creating more content that informs and inspires. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with others. Your support allows us to continue making meaningful videos for you and our community. Wishing you all good health, happiness, and peace. And remember to subscribe to our channel for more helpful tips and inspiring content.